Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge,
Hey,
episode number 163, actually. I'm Alex. There's Pink!
Hey.
And he already said his bit. He's not gonna say anything if I talk to him now. So, Pink, you got anything coming out on your channel this week?
No, I don't think so.
Addy, got anything coming out on your channels this week?
no.
Shit, okay, well, I think I've got something coming out on my channel this week. I'm not gonna switch over and log into my YouTube just at the moment. I'm pretty sure that there is an episode of Road to War, Total War Warhammer 3 coming out this week. Maybe a Total War Warhammer 2 helpful bits. Either way, yeah, I'm probably gonna try and keep recording those when possible. I am going to be starting to go back to college. The college semester is starting on this Monday. So I am going to be considerably less available on that, depending from there going forward into late April, early May, depending on how rough my classes are, which they usually are pretty fucking rough, because that's online classes for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to keep getting stuff recorded, especially because there is something in particular I'd like to talk about for my week. And on the FOS group channel, what we have got coming out, on Monday, we have got Street Fighter V Part 8. On Friday, Supreme Commander Part 9. So, that's what we got coming out on the channel this week. Pink, what you been up to this past week, man?
What have I been up to? I saw an episode of WandaVision.
Okay.
The latest one.
So
I've
is
not seen anything up to this point except the latest episode, so that's wild.
I really want to watch it, but every time I suggest we get a Disney Plus trial to my family, they're like, "Oh, it looks weird. I don't want to watch weird stuff."
Haha.
I guess they assume it's something art house, and it's like, guys, it's fucking Disney's Marvel. They're not going to make any art house stuff. This is going to be just as popcorn as everything else they do, guys. Do you have anything in particular to say about that first episode of WandaVision?
The first episode that I've watched of WandaVision. Not the first episode, because I've not seen that one.
Oh, great, okay. So you don't know where the fuck it is in the timeline?
Nope, I've started off just smack dab in the middle of it, probably.
Okay. So you don't have anything to say about it, I assume, then, because you're being very mum
Not
about
a
it.
lot. There's a bit of a discussion point in that there are a lot of returning characters from other franchises in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is great.
I've heard they've brought out a particular set of characters that there was much curiosity surrounding when they were going to do a Wanda and Vision romance series.
Possibly.
It would be weird to do now, but man, does it look like they kind of got Young Avengers coming down the pipeline.
It looks a lot like that, yeah.
Yep. Which, I mean, admittedly, the Young Avengers in the comics showed up after the original Avengers broke up. But it'd be nonetheless weird to have the Young Avengers out and about when Iron Man and Captain America are unavailable.
Right.
I say that full well knowing that more than likely they're going to get Robert Downey Jr. to come back to play the Tony Stark AI that advises Riri Williams, but, you know.
Nope. Not happening.
Okay, are you saying that in a joking, haha, fuck Riri Williams way, or are you saying that in a serious way?
Seriously, I don't see them getting Robert Downey Jr. is too big a star to co-star alongside Riri Williams as an AI. That is my take on it.
This is Disney money we're talking about, man. This is Disney money we're talking about.
Disney money is hard to turn down, so maybe it'll happen, but I personally have absolutely not a care in the world if it happens. I won't be tuning in to watch Robert Downey Jr. play an AI.
Yeah, my problem with it isn't so much that. My problem is that they've been making Tony too much of a father figure to too many characters by now, and it's kind of
And this
ridiculous.
is also true, and he would be a terrible father figure.
Like, Tony's already been a father figure to that kid, Riley, or what's his name, from Iron Man 3, that they brought back for Endgame for some reason.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
he was a father to Peter Parker. Who else was he a
He
father
was an
figure to?
actual father. He did have a daughter.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, so when they bring in Riri Williams, Tony's going to be the father figure to 4 different kids! Jesus.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, no kidding. Damn. Alright, so I'm going to assume you don't have anything in particular to say about WandaVision beyond, like, hey, there's some spoilery stuff here.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
did you do anything else this week?
Not really. Nothing I recall. I've been doing 2K19 on an alternate account and running a universe that has, I want to say it's 4 main shows. So WWE, WCW, AEW, and Impact.
Man,
So because I'm using the alternate account, I've freed up all my CAW slots once again. So I'm trying to get rosters as semi-accurate as can be. I'm going for a mix of guys who I kind of have to have, like the Young Bucks, and guys who I actually want to have, like the Hurricane.
Okay,
So
I got 2 things I'm curious about. For one thing, have they not already taken down the WWE 2K19 creator character servers?
they have not. They actually extended and have continued to extend the lifetime on those 2K19 servers because 2K20 sucks so bad that nobody wants to play it, nobody wants to upload to it. So they basically threw up their hands, admitted defeat, and said, "Yeah, go ahead and just keep this game."
Okay, that is an unexpected, really nice customer support feature. That I did not expect
Yeah,
out of 2K. Okay, my second question is, when I tried to run 3 shows at the same time in Universe, I found it way too hard to keep track of. How are you keeping 4 going?
I have a notebook,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah. Like, I don't take my universe lightly. It's not something that I just casually decided one day, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and whip out 4 shows, see what happens. This has been several months in the making
Yeah.
and has taken several weeks of downloading everything that I wanted, but it's finally getting pieced together. I think I've got most everything up to snuff. So yeah, I've just been enjoying my time with that this week.
All right. And that's it.
That's it for me.
Eddie.
All right. Well, let's see. Uh, I did try and put some lap time into Guilty Gear XX. Try. Look, I chose the best character for my playstyle for the first character to try and lab ABA, and yeah.
Yeah, she's an interesting character. I don't know what the fuck makes her good.
She actually, like, I don't know what makes her good per se, but a lot of her normals and some of her specials cancel into each other in a way that makes for pretty easy combos to set up if you can lock someone in a freaking in guard pressure.
Yeah.
Because
Fittingly
if
for the
because you
character who's wielding a key.
yeah because you do one mix up that they fall for and then it's combo time, which is probably why she doesn't have a lot of movement otherwise. Because there's I haven't seen many things a lot funnier than when you go from Ebba just freaking doing the the slow dashes because she has this large ass freaking key that she's dragging around. She does the slow dash, and then you knock
I
someone
love
off.
the sprite she has for running. Yeah.
No, not the running sprite. No, you do the slow dash. You get someone in a combo. You knock them up into the air. You do a jump cancel, and Ebba becomes Chip Zenith. I shit you not.
Yeah.
Like once you start doing jump cancels and shit, Ebba has speed and way too much of it. In fact,
Ha.
or maybe it just feels like way too much to me. I don't know. But that I did put some time into Smite, which is Smite. I'm not sure what to discuss there. So some of the new starter items are actually pretty useful, all things considered.
I haven't even tried any of them.
I tried one, and then I saw that another one immediately became meta, even in arena.
Eh.
I didn't try that one out, but I did go into Conquest and tried out how the new item fares with Danzaburo. And the new item I tried out is they have a dual lane damage carry like sustain item that basically gives you all of the mana and all of the health more or less for basic attacks, which is good, which works for Danzaburo because Danzaburo I looked at his abilities. Danzaburo is supposed to be an ability based hunter, guys. He's just too good. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know if he's supposed to be an ability-based hunter or not because the build that people like the meta build that he has right now enables him to both have all of the ability-based damage that he would have, and not all of it, but like 75% of the ability-based damage that he would have. Also, enough auto attack damage that people just quit. Like,
Yeah, he is a hunter.
but yeah, but usually you have to choose between either having auto attack or ability damage. Like even with Uller, the only way I maxed out Uller's auto attack usually is because he has a built-in buff to his kit that gives him more auto attack speed.
With hunters, I've always been able to build ability hunters to have both brutal ability and attack damage.
It's not the damage; it's the speed. Like having the damage and the speed and the ability damage at the same time. That's the kicker. Because you can choose between having just enough penetration that tanks just die, like they're just shredded, but usually you have to choose between attack speed or ability damage. And no, nothing does a bro.
I choose not to choose, sir.
Yes, I choose option C, all of the above.
I want the
here's
combo platter.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I actually read the stat descriptions and shit of Danzaburu's abilities now, because I was wondering if I could make something that's off meta but good, and no, I can't because the build that the meta build for Danzaburu has been min maxed out the ass. So, because here's the thing, all of like 3 out of Danzaburu's 4 abilities scale with penetration damage. So, or not even penetration damage, just physical damage. So people just went with the freaking the items that give you the most physical damage while also giving you attack speed.
Yeah, that's
and
one
yeah,
thing.
Guess what? Yeah,
that's one thing that I found weird going through and making god builds. Is looking over the abilities a lot of characters have. There's a lot of just weird abilities. It's like, oh yeah, this particular stat improves with physical power, and it's like healing and shit. Like stuff like Sylvanas' heal increase with physical power.
Yeah, that's
so with Sylvanas, you gotta punch harder to heal harder.
Yeah. Which is why Hunter Sylvanas worked so well. When I actually remembered how to build him. I don't anymore. I'm sad. But hey. Freaking Danzaburu's abilities are weird because you play him enough, you forget about the other part of his abilities that you just don't really use as much. Like for example, the sake bottle that I throw out at people so they will walk into it and get hit. Like basically a snipe shot. Yeah, but apparently that's a healing move as well. I completely forgot about the healing part, but
I did not know that healed.
No,
Me
I
neither.
didn't either.
Is it a self heal or a team heal?
It's a self heal. When he throws it out, he takes a swig of the sake apparently, which heals him, and then he throws the actual effect out, and that's when people get hit.
Ah.
So that was a funny discovery.
Yeah.
And also, I have yet to figure out how to do it again. I've done this once before, so I knew about it, but I forgot how to trigger it. But the rocket isn't actually just a homing rocket; it's also a riptire. Because
Okay.
of course. So Danzaburo, for a root, can choose between having a homing rocket or becoming the rocket and homing homing it on the enemy manually.
I had no idea.
He's
I
got.
knew this because I did. Yeah,
No, go ahead.
I did this once before, so I knew about it. But I have no like, I don't understand the way they worded it about how to trigger the actual like controlling of the rocket, because it says, oh, you just need to refire the ability. But I've tried and it doesn't work.
Weird.
Yeah. So yeah, Danzaburo, probably a bit broken, honestly. Like, he seems to be mostly in a good place, but I don't know. His kit feels like it's a bit too good.
I always get spooked
I
about saying whether someone is broken or not, just because it's like, well, he's broken for me, but what about at the high level?
yeah. I mean, mostly he seems to be in a good place because he either kills a lot of people or dies very easily. So on that part, like if they want him to be a burst hunter, then he works. But like, I wouldn't want to go up against a good Danzaburo, honestly, because shit. Uh. So yeah, what else did I do? Well, I did some character design, I guess.
All right.
I did redesign my Sona a bit. I don't know if it's really the Sona or just the clothing, but it's just the clothing. Nice.
God damn it. My thumb. Anyways, can carry on.
Yeah. So I did some design work because I don't know, things are weird. So whatever. Really, that's basically all it boils down to. I like I feel like the way I design the clothing that my persona wears kind of resembles how I am regarding the topic. Like, just because if you look at the previous design and this one, it is a lot more open about it. So hey,
Oh, okay. I hang on. I had been busy with doing
yeah,
something else on the side. That's why
I,
I banged up my finger, and I just now got to check. Okay, I see. Yeah.
yeah, I figured. But yeah, I spent some time on that, and what else? I freaking forget. So whatever. If I remember, then we'll just come back to it, I guess.
All right. So you have done nothing else this week that you can remember.
I mean, no, I'm still like, I'm still in that. Oh, I remember the last thing.
Heh.
Yeah, I'll reach that. But yeah, otherwise I didn't really do a whole lot because I'm still like I'm at the same time I'm still stuck in that thing of like, I don't want to play video games because I just don't want to for some reason. They just really bore me now. But at the
Oh.
same time, I have nothing else to do. So hey, and yeah, that that, like, if I don't care about video games anymore, that's gonna hurt a lot because I've literally been playing video games all of my life. So finding another freaking way to spend my time is going to be hard.
Maybe you need a game that's like a new experience or something to challenge you or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, because like even with the stuff like the stuff that's coming out, none of it really interests me. Like, sure, there's Strive and KOF 15, but who knows when KOF 15 is coming out, and who knows when Strive is getting cleared in the EU. So And otherwise, there's not really a lot of games coming out that I'm particularly interested in. And as for the ones that are out, it's really just more of the same. It's just like, maybe I would want to play like Persona 5 Strikers or Royal, or I don't know what else came out recently that I can actually remember that I was interested in, but like not for $60 because I can't afford $60 right now for just like so a small amount of interest.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, right now I don't think I can afford the $3 to buy Garo. So hey,
Eh.
and that's sad because I do actually want to play Garo sometimes because I miss Kim's Kids.
I wish that Garo was on Steam with rollback.
Garo is on Steam with rollback.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Why did no one tell me this?
they updated both the PS4 and the PC release. From what I remember, Code Mystics did when before they did KOF 2002.
Son of a bitch.
Look into it still, though. But I remember people saying that the PC and the PS4 releases of Garo both have the PC at least has freaking rollback. I think the PS4 might as well, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, like there's a lot of old fighting games right now that are like freaking $3 a pop, and it sounds good, and I want to buy them. I just literally can't. So hey, nice. and even if I did, like that's the thing is like there are some games out that I have a small amount of interest in, but like honestly, I would kind of want to put like the multiple times $60 that those games would cost. Take it and just put it towards freaking getting the materials for the first suit because I want to have something tangible as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also I'm probably like with the first two thing, like I have more reasons to believe that I would like it because I would be the one making it. So if it's shit, then I know why it's shit.
Eh.
So hey, and
All
the
right.
last thing,
Yeah.
that I wanted to touch on is that, well, for one, this is actually, I think, like this may be the last time I bring something like this up, and I know that I keep saying this every week, but I do actually think this every week, and then I go, hey, can we get a new norm now at least? And my brain goes, no. But yeah, so I in text, I don't know if we talked about this on video, but in text, I do keep referring to this weird feeling that I get from intros, which I keep calling it furry shit, and technically that's not true because real animals don't make me feel that way. So hey, like it's legitimately just intros for some reason, but I keep referring to this weird feeling that I can't quite describe because I don't know where it's coming from or why it's becoming a thing, and my mind just taken to taking it on as attraction because freaking well. I haven't felt attraction either, so maybe that's what it is, and that's the thing. So, uh, that was a shitty segue, and I don't know how to continue
I don't either.
from it. But, so, okay.
The floor is
I
yours,
guess,
man. I don't
yeah,
think Pink or me can
yeah,
particularly make a comment
yeah.
here.
Yeah, no, I haven't really given you anything that you can comment on. But maybe with the thing, like I haven't figured out how to describe it still. But I have figured that maybe because sometimes when I tell you all about stuff, I leave out small details just because I don't think that they would be important. And you don't need to know like freaking every detail of my life because you're not living with me. So hey, you probably have better shit to worry about. But when I thought about it, and I was like, okay, well maybe if we go back and just think about uh the things that make me feel that way, or like what triggers that reaction, Maybe that leads us somewhere. And the only way that I can describe the process is
Viking and Johnny.
No, that's the thing. Human characters don't make me feel that way either. It's literally just Andros for
Oh.
some freaking reason.
Okay.
But but yeah, so it's like I was like, okay, so well, most recently and most like the most troublesome one, I guess, was the thing with Danzaburo, because he's literally just a raccoon on its hind legs. So that's getting dangerously close to just being a raccoon. And
But he has a hat.
well, yeah, he does have clothes and a hat, but he's still just a raccoon.
And a
Because
gun.
remember, yeah, and a gun. But I was and normally that's the thing. Normally, when I look at Danzaburo, I don't feel that weird way either, because my mind just registers him as a raccoon. And I'm not like as freaking fucked up as I am. I'm still not into fucking animals, guys.
Yeah.
I should hope not.
I mean, I hope not. That's the thing. I can't tell for sure, but I hope not.
There is a line, right? And animals,
Yeah.
like, the thing is, like, if you want to just go to like a purely intellectual level of discussing like sexuality on the intellectual level and what is kosher and what is not kosher, like at the end of the day, animals are like
Not intelligent enough.
Yes, not intelligent enough. I was trying to figure out like if there's a way to segue into that, but like it's
that's the thing too. Like that's why I'm that's why I keep bringing this up and kept bringing this up this whole week, because my mind draws that line pretty hard. Like the thing, like, that's the weird thing though to me, because I only feel that weird thing about I only have that weird feeling about Entros, and Entros usually have enough intelligence to technically qualify as people, but they are still freaking animals. So well. That's my thing. That's why I keep bringing it up, because I can't make heads or tails of it. Funnily enough, but yeah, the thing I was trying to go into is that I thought about what made me trigger that response in regards to Danzaburo, because otherwise I wouldn't have felt that way. And I thought about it, and literally the only way I can describe it is that I got lost in his smile. Which I feel like that's a description that you only use when you're like physically attracted to someone. I mean, is it not?
I mean, not necessarily, no.
Okay, because I wasn't sure. I mean, either way, like no matter what this is, I can't really do anything about it, so I just have to live with it. No, as long as I don't want to freaking do bad things to animals, then it's fine. And like
there are loads of guys who have great smiles, and I do not want to fuck.
True.
How dare you?
Look, man, I know I know Ryan Reynolds is one of the favorites, but boobs over pecs. That's all I'm saying. Boobs over pecs.
Blimey, I forget where I was going to go from there. Honestly,
I'm trying to find I'm trying to find a picture, and I can't find it for the life of me. So I'll just fucking describe what it is. It's someone jokingly made a hypothetical law of science fiction, and it was named for some Star Trek character that's known for sleeping with random aliens. It was like the Jason
Riker?
The what?
Riker?
I don't think Riker's known for fucking aliens.
I don't know. My Star Trek knowledge is very limited to just basically Data, because Data was the only character I cared about when I watched the Next Generation.
It may be Battlestar Galactica or Stargate. I can't keep track. I don't know my sci-fi television. But either way, it was called like the Jason Hardings effect or some stupid shit like that. Named after the character. And it was two pictures. One of... It was a series of laws, and it basically said, is the creature of sexual maturity for its species? Is the creature intelligent enough to understand what sex is and consent? And then it was a picture of like a giant fucking snake monster. That one picture they asked, "Hey, do you want to fuck?" And the snake monster just of course, responds with a big roar, and it says, underneath it has a big red X, and it says, "Not fuckable" or something like that. And then on the right, it has the same picture, but this time instead of roaring back, the snake responds, "Sure!" Like with a very coy look. And then it has a green check mark that says, "Fuckable,"
baby.
It's like, it's basically, imagine someone propositioning Jormungandr.
Yeah. Look, you joke, but I have seen some people thirsty for Cthulhu on the Smite Reddit, so hey.
he got the big handle.
Yeah. The big hand and the big tentacles.
Oh god, I hadn't thought of that. Oh fuck, god damn it. Shit.
Like I don't even remember. I just remember the post being something like one of those advanced Drake memes where they keep pointing things out and then just going nah, and then the last thing is good, and and it was rhyming things like Netflix or not rhyming, but like things like Netflix and chill, and then rhyming things that they also say that spending some time with sex, and then the last one was freaking. I don't remember what it was, but it was Cthulhu. And yeah, Cthulhu.
Spending time with your abyssal dream lord.
Yeah. I mean, hey, when I try to define the different parts of me, my body is an eldritch abomination, so hey.
I'm pretty sure
yeah?
Oh no, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, I think it fits because it doesn't really communicate with us, but it freaking it decides things to do, and we just kind of have to accept it and work around it. Also, imminent danger, but you know.
I want to bring up something. There are several H.P. Lovecraft stories where the monster is made by just white people and black people intermixing. So
nice.
Well, yeah, of course, that's an H.P. Lovecraft classic right there, where every time you're like, oh, great. But I guess probably a lot of the Lovecraft monsters are kind of technically just humans. Just Lovecraft's fucked up idea of what happens when humans mix.
What do you mean a mixed marriage doesn't produce the Leviathan?
Yeah. Lovecraft was so fucked up and racist, he probably thought that you'd produce a fucking horrible Leviathan just by mixing, like, things that we would consider very white European ethnicities that just, like, we wouldn't even visually be able to tell the difference. Like, oh, if a Scot and a Slav fuck, then it produces tentacle monster. It's like...
But you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I live among them, so...
Yeah. I think by H.P. Lovecraft's qualifications, both of you guys are tentacle monsters.
I mean, I have a hard time disagreeing with him, honestly.
Look, man, if you've had incredible, like, reality-breaking powers this entire time and not used them to take over the world, we can't be friends anymore.
I have the reality-breaking powers, but it only works on the virtual world, which is why Revengeance exists. Not the game, my stand. But maybe the game was as well. I'll take credit.
Oh, shit. Alright, anything else this week, Addy?
No.
Okay. So, I got the Platinum Trophy in Ghost of Tsushima. I thought I'd go for the 100%, but I've decided not to, because fucking Sashimono banners, that is not happening.
Yeah. I got all of those, you know, and then my save got deleted.
Yeah, ugh. Like, I'm gonna have to press myself to get all the Mongol artifacts, and that's just because I find those really interesting to read about.
I mean, honestly, I'd recommend. I know you want to save New Game Plus for freaking for PS5, but I'd actually recommend doing a New Game Plus now, getting all of that shit on that save, and then doing like definitive playthrough on PS5 once you have it, because then you'll be able to, like, if you do it the way I did, then you would be able to choose between all of the colors for all of the freaking clothes and shit. Well, most of them anyway.
Oh, you actually keep your inventory on New Game Plus?
You keep all of your inventory aside from resources.
Yeah, I was about to say resources and weapon. Oh no, wait. Do you get to keep your weapons and skills as well?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I would imagine that breaks several of the missions having access to stuff like the blowpipe, because like the blowpipe can just instantly kill Mongol commanders.
Yeah, if you consider that breaking it, then yeah. But otherwise, it's more like it's just funny. Seeing people be like, "Hey, Jin, take those clothes," and then you already have those on.
Yeah. Jin, I need you to wear my son's armor. Jin is already not only wearing the armor, but wearing it fully kitted and upgraded to the max.
Yeah.
Jin, how did you know our family symbol was the crescent?
I also am that.
Yeah. You see, the armor was a little cooked up when I got to it, but I grabbed it. Anyways. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, it's a really fucking good game. There is one last thing I want to say that disappointed me. It bugs me that once you completely liberate the island, it doesn't get rid of Mongol spawns.
Yeah, that bothered me as well.
And it's really troublesome going up to the far northern third of the map, Kamiyagata, because the Mongols spawn so rapidly up there. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, did you get the non-marked locations as well?
The non-marked locations. What do you mean?
Yeah, there's a couple of world events that spawn Mongols where you can destroy like trebuchets, I think.
Oh yeah,
And
I kept running into that. Yeah, trebuchets, and they were just bombing a fucking random village. And it's like really, guys? Is that like that seems like kind of overkill? It's
yeah,
fucking
there's a
it's
couple
five farmers in a fucking shit wood shack. Why are you throwing fire boulders at them? What the fuck?
Why not? They don't pay for it. The Khan does.
There is some stuff in this game with the way they handle the Mongols where it's just like, okay, now you're just being evil for evil's sake, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it's
yeah,
incredible how much the Mongols specialize in baby kicking in this game.
Surprisingly enough, though, the Mongol gamers didn't mind it.
No, but most modern Mongolians are like, yo, the Mongol Empire was fucking rad, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a lot of modern Italians who are ashamed of what the Roman Empire did to Jesus. They won't say it was good, but at the same time, you know, they're still like, hey, the Roman Empire was rad, so...
Yeah. They were on top. What's there to complain about?
Maybe they shouldn't be, though, considering all of the freaking
Oh, everybody's got something to be ashamed about. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that when you go through Ghost of Tsushima and you're watching all the Bushido stuff go down, and you're like, boy, this culture of like honor and hate cowards kind of led into the rape of Nanking about 800 years later. Whoops.
Whoops.
Oh boy.
But yeah, there are a couple of missions in Ghost of Tsushima that aren't actual like proper missions, but they're still like they still have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They just don't have cutscenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've run into a
Like
few
for
of those.
example, like I remember one of them was burning bodies for a priest.
Yes, I ran into that as well.
I
believe that
appreciate-
was
I appreciate-
I believe that was an actual side mission though. I think it was.
I don't remember it popping up on thing that a thing to tell me where to go. Maybe I'm just misremembering though.
Yeah, you just kind of do it in passing because he shows up like near the white dye merchant or something as you're as you're shopping, and he's like, "Hey, help me burn some bodies," and it's like, "Okay, geez." All right. So did that. I gotta get this out of the way. I didn't play Total War Warhammer 2 this week, but I'm gonna bring it up anyways, because it begins. Yesterday...
What is that?
Yesterday, the first teaser for Total War Warhammer 3 released.
Oh, man.
And when I first saw it, I was like, this could be a tease for anything. Because it's cutting to, like, a wizard in the Empire who's like, yo, the Pope says I should watch the stars. But I think the Pope's full of shit because he doesn't know the stars. And then the wizard gets on his telescope and he's like, oh shit, the stars! And the stars are like, yo, it's a like a constellation of a dwarf holding an axe. And this actually has a significant meaning of like specifically being related to the early summer, and it means soldiers, dwarfs, and dimwits, the guy says. And yeah, once I actually put together the wording, I was like, oh yeah, of course that's a tease for Warhammer 3. Because Warhammer 3 is going to feature 1. Russians, 2. Ogres, 3. Satan dwarfs, and 4. Demons.
Oh, man.
Nice.
So, yeah, soldiers, dimwits, dwarfs, and demons. Oh boy. And, yeah, then one of the YouTubers, screwed up. All the YouTubers, conveniently, all of the YouTubers who make content for Total War Warhammer 2, all at the exact same time, released a video of them either reacting to the teaser or dissecting it. When there is, of course, not nearly enough time for them to actually be able to do that in the 15 minutes since the video released. And almost all of them were labeled Warhammer 3 tease? Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point, 1 exclamation point.
As you do, keep things inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
And there was one YouTuber who actually, someone commented and was like, are you sure this is a Warhammer 3 tease? It's kind of ambiguous. And the YouTuber commented on that comment with, oh, Creative Assembly's community relations manager told us that it's a Warhammer 3 tease, and we're cool to say that. And then after that got screenshotted and put on the Reddit, that guy deleted the fuck out of that comment. Whoopsie doodles. So either he fucked up or the community manager fucked up. But nonetheless, it begins. And be ready for me to talk about this every week, guys. I'm sorry. This is something I've been waiting for 4 years, and I've put 2,300 hours into Total War Warhammer 2. This is a year-defining event for me.
Now we just need something for Pink. I became a furry. You Warhammer 3. Pink needs something new now.
Do I?
Yes.
Pink, you need to start a prank channel where you prank all the customers that come into the store until you get fired.
Well,
that sounds like a good idea.
I was going to suggest that Pink builds the store into a mech while the freaking his bosses aren't watching, but you know. They can fire you if you kill them with the mech.
Very true.
Just turn your car into a transformer. That way you can fight crime on your way to work.
Perfect.
All right. The other 2 things I got to do this week. I picked up the Devil May Cry HD collection while it was on sale on PlayStation. So, I played through most of Devil May Cry 1. I stopped at the final Nello Angelo boss fight. That game is, it's good for its time. But...
Oh, did you hear about, sorry for freaking butting in and changing the topic slightly, but did you hear that that Capcom took the current team of the Resident Evil 4 remake because they want to remake Devil May Cry 1 as well?
No, I did not. I heard the Resident Evil 4 team got taken off of Resident Evil 4 because they were screwing something up.
They were too faithful. They were too faithful. That's genuinely the thing, yes.
Oh, I hate it! Oh, I hate that! Oh, don't say that! Oh no!
People are joking that
No!
Capcom wants to make Devil May Cry 1 again instead.
Oh! Of all the Resident Evils, okay, RE1, RE2, RE3, they're archaic, right? They got fixed camera angles, they got tank controls. You know, I get just making them entirely different games, but just keeping the same story and setting and characters. But like Resident Evil 4 is still probably the best paced game I've ever played. What they should have done for the RE4 remake, genuinely, just bring over the source code, all the level layouts, the control scheme, everything to do with the gameplay, just keep it the exact goddamn same. Don't even get rid of the old voice acting if you can. And just redo all the models. Because RE4 is a good looking game for a PS2 game. There's a reason it released on the GameCube first. They had to downgrade it for PS2 because the GameCube had more processing power back then. Which is hard to believe now because Nintendo's always last in processing power now. But once upon a time...
Absolutely.
Once upon a time, Nintendo was ahead of the game in processing power. And RE4 looked better than anything on the PS2. And they had to downgrade it a lot to put it on the PS2. Now, of course, it looks bad by modern standards because you're giving it enhanced scrutiny in modern HD. Especially because RE4 gets fucking ported to every platform ever nowadays. But, like, just fucking up the model, make new models and make new textures and just wrap it there. RE4 is already very close to perfect. And oh my god, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make the story serious.
First person. Oh.
They're gonna make the story serious. Oh, I hate that. RE4 was the only Resident Evil that knew what Resident Evil is. And had the serious moments. You know, it had the serious moments. And it had the scary moments. But it also knew it's Resident fucking Evil, right? The part we all remember most from Resident Evil is, "You were nearly a Jill sandwich." And they just doubled down on it. With a bunch of deliberately goofy lines. That are a lot of fun. And it's got kind of an Indiana Jones-esque atmosphere to it after a certain point. Of Leon kind of going on an adventure and having one-liners. And being mostly pretty badass and professional, but also being a little bit of a fuck-up. Just like Indy, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that pains me. I mean, vanilla Resident Evil 4 will always be there. So I guess I can't complain too much. But, like, it would be so much better if they just gave it a fresh new coat of paint and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
The car is still good. Just give it a paint job. Like, come on. Anyways, Devil May Cry 1 is probably the game that is the most lacking in quality of life features. I'm going to go ahead and pitch that. Just about everything where you could imagine there'd be a quality of life feature here, there isn't. So, I've mentioned before, Devil May Cry 1 has a limited checkpoint system. You get yellow orbs. There is a limited amount. You start off with 3. There's like, 5 hidden throughout the game in all 20 levels. And you can buy them from the shop at exorbitant prices. Every time you die, it burns a yellow orb and sends you back to the before you entered the room you were in. It doesn't even put you back in the same fight or the same segment. It just sends you back to the previous room. Because this game came out in 2001. And if you don't burn a yellow orb, congrats, game over, load a save, asshole. And
Nice.
And you can't save mid-level. That's a really important fact. So, yeah, great. Another thing that I've noticed that it's just what the fuck were you guys doing? Every Devil May Cry game going forwards has where you can quick swap weapons, melee weapons, and guns on the triggers. Just hit the right trigger and you switch to the next melee weapon instantly. Hit left trigger and you switch to the next gun instantly. So that you can just be swapping between all different kinds of weapons mid-combo, and the most talented Devil May Cry players are making all kinds of crazy combos by mixing all the weapons. Devil May Cry 1, you can switch between the 2 melee weapons that the game has. 2. There is a third unlockable one, but hang on. So between the 2 main melee weapons, you have to push in the right stick, and Dante does a very big, long animation where either he does a fucking Dragon Ball like energy burst if he switches to sword, or he does like a superhero landing like fist on the ground Roman Reigns taunt if you switch him to the fist weapons. And if you want to switch to that third weapon, what you gotta do is the same way you change your gun. You press start, you press left bumper to go over to your gun menu, and then you have to go down to whichever gun you want to swap to. You gotta press X on it. It brings up a confirmation menu. Are you sure you want to switch guns? As if that's like something you'd be like, oh fuck, oh no, I can't go back. I made such a mistake in this pause menu. And then after you pick, yes, I would like to switch to, let's say, the shotgun, it then plays a cute little second-long animation of the gun firing and then reloading. It's like, it plays an FMV. It plays a fucking FMV every time you switch guns.
Nice.
And then you gotta exit back out of the pause menu. And if you want to switch for the third type of sword, you gotta go over to the gun menu, then press X on the swords menu, or the devil arms menu, and then you gotta pick the sword, confirm it, wait for the animation, the fucking FMV to stop, and then exit the pause menu. And it's like, Jesus Christ, they did not know what they were doing yet. And I kinda don't blame them, because Devil May Cry 1 was blatantly supposed to just be Resident Evil 4. And you can tell, right? Because having a more brutal checkpoint system is a deliberate choice in horror games because it's trying to make you scared of death. And the other thing is, Resident Evil doesn't have designated levels. It just has typewriters. You go and save at a typewriter. So dying in Resident Evil also, a lot of time, isn't as brutal because odds are you've saved at a typewriter fairly recently unless you're going for one of those, like, Iron Man runs. So, like, Devil May Cry 1 is rough because of a mix of they didn't know what they were doing yet. It was really the first of its entire genre. It made a genre. And on that, like, the first in any given genre is always rough, right?
Right.
Like, God knows, what was the first platformer? And it was almost certainly an Atari game, and it was certainly going to be rough, you know?
Maybe Pitfall?
Ooh, Pitfall or something like that.
Before Pitfall?
Yeah, something along those lines. So it's pretty brutal. The other thing that I got to play this week was I finally got around to just putting in 3 hours, according to Steam, into Hades. And yeah, that's a good game right there. It was like 11:30 at night, and I was like, you know what? I can just put a little bit into Hades. And then I was at 2:30 a.m. and I was like, oh, but I want to do another run though. So Hades is a roguelike. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
It's like Binding of Isaac or other roguelikes where you go in and you start your run, and you run through several different levels, several different chambers. Each of these rooms has a variety of enemies that can spawn with different attack patterns and so on. And every room has a reward that you get for completing it. The game functions as kind of an isometric brawler with parts shoot 'em up depending on what weapon you pick. And if any of you guys have already played a Supergiant game before, like Bastion, or I've forgotten the name of it.
Trine? Is that the other one?
No, Trine was not actually a Supergiant game. I'm going to look up Supergiant, because there's another one that was a follow-up to Bastion that was very, very similar. And I have it, but I've not beat it. Okay, Supergiant only comes out with a game once every 3 years. Bastion in 2011 Transistor in 2014, Empire in 2017. Hades is their game of 2020. Okay, so yeah, Bastion is, by the way, phenomenal, and Bastion is one of my favorite games of the. Was that the 7th generation? Was the Xbox 360 7th generation? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so right, Hades is along those lines, but it's a roguelike, and basically you start off the thing and you pick up a weapon, you get to go around. Oh, fuck. This is a game that's got a lot going on, so I'm finding it really hard to explain things. Okay, fuck it. Okay, you make your run, and at the end of every little room, there is a little pop-in power-up that will help you for the rest of your run. Or help you going after the run. So some of the stuff, it's boons from the gods. Because this is Greek mythology, right? And you are...
And then you go into a dating sim.
Yeah, kind of, honestly. So you're playing as Zagreus, the son of Hades, who has gotten tired of sitting around in Hades, having to help his dad maintain the realm of Hades. So he has decided to escape from Hades, and it turns out it's pretty fucking rough, because Hades is a giant hellish maze, and his dad isn't particularly happy about him trying to leave. Thankfully, his Hades himself, the god Hades, not the realm, is so busy with paperwork and having to keep the realm in order that he can't directly interfere to stop you, because he's just that fucking busy. But there's so many more deadly things going on in the realm of Hades that your dad, Hades, is pretty convinced that you're not going to make it. But Zagreus has been able to get Nyx, the goddess of night, or the night itself, really. She's less of a god, more just a concept, isn't she, right, Pink?
What was that name he said?
Nyx.
Nyx, yeah.
Yeah, she contacted the Greek gods, and so they come down and they send buffs down, because they can't directly interfere into Hades, right? Because that's their, Hades' realm.
Yeah.
But they send down those little boons, and every time you pick one up, you get to have a little bit of a conversation with a god. And you get to pick from one of 3 buffs. Zagreus has 4 basic moves. He gets a dash, a normal attack, a special attack, depending on his weapon, and a spell cast. And whenever these 3 buffs appear, it'll be like, okay, you've got, let's say, you've got a boon from Zeus. What you can choose is your normal attack whenever you hit an enemy causes chain lightning to hit other enemies, right? That's the first buff.
Right.
The second buff you can choose from the boon is whenever you dash, it causes a lightning bolt to strike the nearest enemy. So the dash, which is ordinarily non-damaging, becomes damaging. And the third one you can choose is your spell cast now becomes where you throw a ball of lightning. And there becomes an interesting dichotomy there, because all of these have been so thoroughly, balanced by, a full year of this game being in early access and Supergiant paying loads of attention to player, suggestions, that virtually everything is good. Which is interesting, because every time you run through, it's like, oh, but I want to try this now. I want to try that. Oh, I've not tried the combination of this weapon with this boon, right?
Right.
And there's 10 different gods that can send you boons, and each of them has several buffs that can be provided from their boons to just about every part of Zagreus' kit. And some stuff it's vital, because it's like, oh, I'm already hitting people with my sword. What if I make my sword stronger? That way I can, when I hit people with my sword anyways, it's better. Or oh, I'm dashing a lot anyways to avoid enemy attacks. What if I made it where I can attack at the same time? That would be really beneficial. Or, hey, my spell cast is kind of crappy when you just start out vanilla. It should be really important for me to grab a god boon that turns it into something actually useful. And that's one thing that I had trouble learning on my first 2 runs, because the spell cast you get just basically at the start is pretty well just Zagreus throws a pebble, and it's really bad. So I was like, oh, well, obviously this is trash and I'm never going to upgrade it. But one time I was just fucking around and I picked Athena's boon for it. And it makes it where you throw a fucking phalanx. A fucking phalanx of shields and spears at people. And it deflects and destroys all enemy projectiles, blocks enemy attacks on the way, and does a shit ton of damage in an area. And I was like, oh, the spell's shit because you're supposed to replace it with a god boon as soon as possible. Okay. So there's some urgency to replace that, but at the same time, it's still like, but man, what if I made my sword better, though? So there's a lot of variety here, right? And there's the Daedalus Hammer, which just buffs your tools outright. There's Centaur Hearts, which boost your health meter by 25%. Permanently. For that whole run. You can pick up money, and whenever you can visit Charon. Every room at the end offers you 1 to 3 doors. And it gives you a little symbol that goes ahead and tells you, this is the reward for this room. But there will also be a little symbol that will indicate, like, hey, this is a regular room. Hey, this is a boss room, a mini boss room. So you run into this thing of like, ooh, I'd really like a Centaur Heart for more health. But their symbol indicates this is going to be our boss room. So I don't know whether I want to take the risk. And then there's the things of like, every layer of Hades has different bosses associated with it. So you're like, oh, you know what? That's a boss room, but I'm on Tartarus, and I know what the Tartarus bosses are. I'm pretty good against the Tartarus bosses. I think I've got very good stuff to deal with them. So I'm going to take the risk, right?
Right.
Right. So, yeah, and sometimes the rooms are rooms that don't have anything in them that will try to attack you. It's just a passive room where you pick up a free reward. Some of the rooms are Charon rooms where you can visit, and Charon will sell you shit for money. So there's a whole heap and load of things. Some of the rewards do not immediately give you any benefit. Like, some of it is just dark crystals. And it's like, well, what the hell's the point of this? Or chthonic keys that will not help you on your run. But here's the vital thing. This being a roguelike, whenever you die, you lose all the buffs you've gained. And you go back to just a vanilla Zagreus. Except that Hades has rewards within, like the night crystals and the chthonic keys, that allow you to gain permanent buffs, just on that save file forever. There's a mirror, like a mirror of night or whatever, that Nyx gave to Zagreus in his room that you can go to and spend dark crystals to permanently upgrade the amount of health that Zagreus refills every time he completes a room. Or the amount of percentage damage bonus that Zagreus gets on backstabs. You can spend chthonic keys to unlock new weapons, and later on to unlock new buff options at the mirror to spend night crystals on. You can pick up Nectar of the Gods, which you can give to any of the gods whenever their boon appears. You can opt to give them Nectar of the Gods, which unlocks a special friendship mechanic with them, where you can increase. It's like social links from Persona, right? Or like Addie said, a dating simulator. You buff your relations with, let's say, Athena, and Athena's like, hey, that's cool, Zagreus, you're my favorite nephew, or something like that. Or no, cousin, whatever, fuck it. With the Greek family tree, it probably is both cousin and nephew.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fun there, and every time you level up their friendship, they give you a little artifact. And at the start of every run, you can pick between the artifacts that your friends have given you, all of which give you unique buffs. And one of my favorite things is that Supergiant knew which ones you'd favor immediately. Because as soon as every time you die, you get brought back to the lobby of hell, basically. Where your dad, Hades, is sitting at a desk filing paperwork, and next to him he's got Cerberus, and Cerberus is a gigantic, cute, furry dog.
Yeah, I was about to say, Cerberus is one of the only things I remember being really cute.
Yeah, and
of course I would remember that, but you know.
And you get the ability to talk to Cerberus, which I find really funny, because Cerberus is a dog and he can't answer. So instead the narrator is just like, Cerberus looks slightly concerned for Zagreus' well-being. And you can pet him, and the thing is, they knew that the very first one you'd give nectar to, they knew that you were going to give it to the dog first, right? Because of course. So,
oh, darn right.
Giving nectar to Cerberus gives you the most obvious help the newbie item in the game. Cerberus gives you one of his old spare collars as a relic, which picking that one increases your health by 25% flatly. Which is, of course, by far the most useful item for newbies to the game. I thought that was really neat. Along similar lines, another one, I was really surprised by this. When you first go into the lobby, and you're like, oh, okay, so yeah, we got Nyx and Hades and Cerberus and Hypnos. These are all guys I expected, right? And, oh, by the way, I wanted to mention something. Hypnos is the guy who greets you every time you die and come back. And he always has a unique comment for what killed you in that run.
Oh,
and
nice.
I think what he's supposed to do is give you some advice on how to avoid, like, how to better deal with that given enemy. Because a lot of so far, I've mostly been killed either by bosses. And he's like, hey, try to avoid... Hey, that thing is pretty problematic, though, but I hear you can do this to deal with it. But the first time I died, I accidentally just stepped on a spike trap in the first boss fight, and Zagreus got impaled. And I went up and talked to Hypnos, and Hypnos was like, hey, you died on a spike trap. Try not to stand there, okay? and I thought... Because I had died to such a stupid thing, I thought Hypnos wasn't there to help the player. I thought Hypnos was just there to be a dick about whichever way you died. So for my first couple runs, I was just kind of like, eat shit, Hypnos. Anyways, and then there's one more NPC that you get immediately upon entering the lobby. Achilles! And I was like, what the fuck's Achilles doing here? Because don't get me wrong, Achilles is of course a part of Greek mythology. But it's just weird to be running around and you got all these gods and all these, conceptual titans of what have you. And then here's Achilles, who was just a regular dude who was really tough.
Yeah.
But basically, like, as you go on, you figure out a bit more of how it is. And Achilles basically... Hades, every time someone dies, Hades puts them to work somewhere in Hades. And the better you were, the better of a job you get. And Achilles was, of course, the most legendary warrior of all time. So Hades chose Achilles to basically mentor Zagreus, which is why Zagreus is so good at fighting. And what you figure out very quickly through dialogue is, Hades may have been Zagreus' father, but Achilles was Zagreus' dad.
I thought that was going to go a slightly different way. With Achilles being Zagreus' daddy, which honestly...
I chose not to use that word.
I mean, considering ancient Greece, probably that too.
I mean, Achilles did have a boyfriend in Iliad, so yeah.
Yeah, he did.
The
he's dead.
Yeah.
But apparently not in Hades.
Yep. But I think it's very interesting how they've handled things, because I know they're going to have to try and give Hades himself a more sympathetic look. But so far, man, Hades is a fucking dick. And not even like... It's one thing I like. One thing I like is that they've not handled it. It's always the problem with handling ancient Greece, is that people tend to nonetheless interpret it through a Judeo-Christian lens, and turn Hades into the devil, right?
He was the most chill one of all, though.
Yeah, and they just make him like it... Hades is always like, oh, the temptation on your shoulder who wants to take your soul, and it's like, no, that's not how Hades works.
Nope.
And I'm really happy with how they've handled Hades so far, because he is a dick, but he kind of comes off as just being horribly overworked, because there are so many people dying all the time. Especially because it seems like they're implying that all this is actually going on in modern day. So, there are more people... Because of population expansion, there are way more people dying now in the modern day than there were in the times of classical Greece. So yeah, Hades probably would be pretty overworked.
Both interpretations are wrong. This is happening during freaking Greek trilogy God of War era.
Yeah!
The reason Hades is overworked is because the freaking the sea just washed Greece away.
With that, yeah, Hades is a real dick to Zagreus. I'm curious where they're going with that so far, because you can tell that Hades is just short-tempered because he's overworked, but it also kind of feels like they're going to do something about regarding how Hades is not as bad of a person as Zeus or Poseidon in the original Greek mythology. Because Zeus and Poseidon so far have been portrayed very just like unironically good, and I'm curious if they're going to do something about that, because Supergiant is not the kind of dev to leave that kind of thing untouched.
Well, I don't know if they did anything with it. I did watch a guy play through the game, but he beat the game in 11 runs, which is really good. Also means you skip out on most of the story, because most of the story is told to you when you die. So
Yep. Yeah, I'm 4 runs in, I want to say. I died once to Megara, but I was really pleased that it only took me 2 runs to get past her. But I've died to the Hydra 3 times. And that is another thing I want to note for Pink. Yeah, Megara's here, and she's a Fury this time, instead of just being a random woman that Hercules falls in love with. How much work did that take?
Are you saying Disney lied to me?
Maybe. I don't
Again?
know. Far be it from me to suggest that Disney perhaps reinterprets myth and stories a little bit to fit what they want to say.
Unbelievable.
Far be it from me to suggest that Disney has had a habit of putting things through the lens of Judeo-Christianity when it makes no sense. And there's no real equivalent of the Furies in Christianity, so it's just kind of like, oh, we'll make Megara a hot woman then. And
you could have done worse.
They made her a hot woman because she was a Fury, because she was furiously hot.
Yeah. I think, Pink, you would be very happy with the way Megara is implemented in Hades. Not only because she's actually a Fury and accurate to the lore for once, but also, for one thing, the voice actor is doing a very good job of putting on a very strange, surreal voice for the Fury, for Megara. Because the Furies are, like, above the gods, right?
Right.
And I guess Zagreus can beat Megara consistently because she's just by herself, and she's not got the other 2 Furies with her. But nonetheless, the voice actress does a very good job of making Megara not really sound in touch with humanity or divinity, just kind of this strange alien thing who's kind of getting sick of having to punish everyone. Oh, and yes, of course, she is also a hot, sultry, deep-voiced woman with a whip. She's not naked, though, unusually for most women who wield whips in video games.
That is strange.
I was surprised, though. Aphrodite, actually naked. She's got Yeah, she's got hair strands covering up her nipples and her vagina, but other than that, just naked. Completely naked. I mean,
it's accurate, then.
Yeah, it's Aphrodite, but... I do really like a lot of the designs for the gods. Ares' design I'm really fond of. I'm curious with Ares, though, because there's something going on. There's a kind of like... He's got his helmet held under his arm, and he's got a kind of imprint of what looks like ash on his face in the pattern of his helmet. So it kind of looks like he got hit in the face with ash while he was wearing his helmet, so it just left that pattern on his face, and it looks very cool, but I'm curious if that's supposed to be a reference to something. Particularly given the association from God of War of Ares covering people in their loved ones' ashes. One thing I do find really funny is every time you get a boon from Ares is like, yo, Zagreus, you've been killing tons of people down there. That's fucking rad as fuck. I want you to get out of Hades so you can come up here, up to Earth, and kill people with me, because that'd be rad, man. And every other god, when you talk to them, it's like, yo, Ares is a punk ass. Which, again, accurate to the Greek mythology.
Absolutely.
Everybody hates Ares. Which is fine, because Ares hates everybody.
Relatable.
Oh, man. I have just started to kind of hit some of the content in this game. I know, because I just unlocked... When you start off the lobby of hell only has, like, really 3 rooms. And I just unlocked the 4th room, which is this weird little cafe where there's a floating, cutesy Medusa head that cleans everything. That is just named Dusa. And the very first encounter with her is Zagreus going up to her and being like, hey, you're doing a good job cleaning. And Dusa just dies of fucking overexcitement from getting directly talked to by the son of the Lord of Hell.
You don't want to piss her off though, because if you attack her one too many times, then she just like she triggers the freaking the cuckoo thing from Zelda, but it's with Medusa heads.
Well, you can't attack in the lobby, but I do wish that was how it went. It'd be funnier if like you had the ability to hit things in the lobby, but if like you hit any of the gods, they just laughed at you.
you you hit Hades and it triggers the final boss.
Yeah! You just fight Hades in the lobby. And like Hypnos, Achilles, and Nyx are all just standing there watching, like, interesting.
I love it. Why didn't they do that?
It would be funny if you tried to hit Achilles and he just fucking Zaworodos you. Alright. Hades is good. I'm gonna put more time into it. And that's the end of the podcast for this week. Folks, Eddie, say bye.
Bye.
Yes.